Good morning. Epstein list and Pascal's wager. There's a lot more to say than you might think. Um, the thing about the Epstein list and so much of the Trump scandals, it reminds me of the passage from Blaise Pascal about Christian apologetics, where he says, and I don't know how true this is about Christian apologetics, but this certainly applies to these Trump scandals, that there's enough light for those who want to see and enough darkness for those who want not to see. Rings true, right? Don't forget the Mueller report, which is the second book I remember throwing in the trash in disgust. The other one being Philosophy in the Boudoir by Desade. But the Mueller report, so there's plenty of evidence of obstruction of justice, of cover up, but there's just not enough evidence of the underlying crime to do anything. Effective cover up, right? So I don't know what's coming with this Epstein stuff. I know that there's enough in what I have seen. I mean, how's there not been enough all along? All along. But there's a chunk that we've seen and a chunk that we haven't seen, right? The chunk that we've seen says, hell yeah, this needs to be investigated. Of course, all this went down during the first Trump administration. I don't know what Biden was doing. I don't give a fuck. And there's a chunk of the investigation that we haven't seen, and then there's a chunk of the reality that the investigation wasn't able to see, that, we'll never see. So what do we do with this? Well, we've got the chunk that we have seen, the chunk that we can see, the chunk that's very public, close relationships, lots of times on the plane, testimony of actual sexual assaults. Like, we've got a big damning chunk that we've seen. What happens if the chunk that we get to see next is underwhelming? That's gonna feel a certain way, right? Does it actually change the chunk that we have seen? And how well does it reflect the total reality that there is there? Here's the thing with Pascal's wager. Pascal helps us think about what we do with imperfect evidence. What do we do with imperfect evidence? And that's a thing that people, this religious or not, right? This is a thing that people have a hard time dealing with. Imperfect evidence, you still have to make a move. Imperfect evidence, you still have to have a decision. Imperfect evidence, you still have to live your life. So what do we put up with and what do we not put up with, and what do we do when we're done putting up with things?